Missing the train, Mary stood on the platform, stunned, watching the tail end of the carriage vanish into the distance. Her heart clenched with frustration. She'd bought the tickets weeks ahead, packed her bag for 2 whole days, planned everything to visit her friend in Riverside. But fate had other ideas. Morning traffic jams, a rush, a delay at the pharmacy. It all chained together into a delay of just a couple of minutes. Seemed like nothing, but those minutes flipped her entire day upside down. Mary sighed heavily, clutching her bag, realizing she had no choice but to head back home. On the way, she walked slowly, staring blankly at the gray pavement. Her thoughts tangled. Was this a sign from above, or just plain bad luck? She tried convincing herself it was for the best, that it might even turn into a silver lining. But unease clung to her. A strange heaviness built in her chest, like something odd was waiting just ahead. When Mary reached home, it was around noon. Normally, she'd be miles away on the train by then, flipping through a magazine or dozing to the rhythm of the wheels. Instead, she climbed the familiar steps of her apartment building in the quiet suburb of Willowbrook, a flutter of weird excitement in her gut. It felt awkward returning so early. John knew she'd left, and he probably wasn't expecting her back until tomorrow. Turning the key in the lock, she eased the door open quietly. The hallway was silent, but a muffled whisper reached her ears. She froze, listening. The voices came from the kitchen. At first, she thought it was the TV, but then she caught the familiar tone of her mother-in-law, Eleanor, sharp, always laced with a hint of mockery. The second voice was John's. They spoke in low tones, as if afraid someone might overhear. Mary softly closed the door behind her and hovered in the corridor. Her heart pounded louder. She knew eavesdropping was wrong, but curiosity won out. Plus, the very fact they were using her absence for a secret chat sparked suspicion. She edged closer to the wall, held her breath, and tuned in. "You need to wrap this up by the end of the week," Eleanor whispered. "We can't drag it out anymore." She's too trusting, but who knows, she might catch on. "I get it," John replied. His voice was muffled, strained. "I just don't want it to come off too abrupt." "Don't be scared," his mother cut in. "The key is keeping her under control. Don't give her time to think." A chill raced down Mary's spine. Her heart skipped a beat. She didn't grasp what they were discussing right away, but the vibe was unsettling, slimy. Her insides twisted. Maybe it was about money or some scheme directly involving her. She pressed a hand to her lips, terrified of giving herself away. A thought flashed. If I hadn't missed that train, I'd never have heard this. That random mishap suddenly felt like a revelation. She stood there in the corridor, gripping her bag strap, realizing her life teetered on a knife's edge between her old, comfortable certainty and this terrifying new truth. Mary stepped back, torn between bursting into the kitchen for answers or staying hidden to hear more, to piece together the full picture. But one thing she knew for sure. From this moment, her life would never be the same. Mary lingered in the corridor, not daring to breathe. The voices from the kitchen grew clearer, each word stabbing her heart like a needle. Eleanor spoke with her usual icy confidence, like she was issuing orders, not sharing thoughts. "I've got it all figured out," she said. "We can handle the paperwork without her knowing. Just get her to sign the power of attorney. Tell her it's for the bank or taxes. She believes every word you say." Mary felt a wave of heat rise in her chest. She remembered how. "Mom, you're rushing this," John muttered dully. "I don't want her getting suspicious if she finds out we've been lying." "What nonsense," Eleanor snapped. "Women are made to obey. She's your wife. Her job is to trust. As long as she stays quiet and believes, we'll pull it off." Mary's fists clenched, nails digging into her palms. Her ears rang. Eleanor's words felt insulting, degrading. A storm of emotions ignited inside her. Fear, hurt, but also a simmering rage. Then a chair scraped, and she heard John stand. Footsteps echoed in the kitchen. Mary darted deeper into the corridor, ducking behind the bedroom door. Her heart hammered so loud, she swore they'd hear it. But he didn't come out, just paced the kitchen, sighed heavily, and sat back down. "Honestly, this whole thing makes me uncomfortable," he said softly. "She trusts me." "Trust is just a tool," Eleanor emphasized. "Or do you want to lose that apartment she inherited? Think her relatives will let us off easy? This is our shot to make it all yours." Those words struck Mary harder than a slap. The apartment. The one from her grandmother, where they lived now. So all this time, they'd been scheming to strip her of her inheritance. Something inside her cracked. The trust she'd nurtured in their marriage splintered and crumbled. Mary leaned against the cold wall, memories swirling. Their wedding, those early days together, his vows to care and protect. It all seemed like a fake show now, masking greed and calculation. She held her breath tighter, determined to hear it through. Knowledge was power now. Fine, John said after a long pause. I'll try to convince her tomorrow. But if she starts asking questions, then get tough. Exactly, Eleanor clipped coldly. Don't let her sense any power. She has to stay in the dark. That was Mary's point of no return. She realized if she hadn't overheard this today, her life could have become a trap she couldn't escape. A lump rose in her throat. Tears pricked her eyes, but she held them back. No breaking now. Mary stepped away silently, grabbed her bag, and steadied herself. Her mind raced, but one truth stood clear. She had to play it smart now. Trusting John? Over. That night, Mary tossed in bed, restless. John slept soundly beside her, as if nothing had happened, while she lay awake, listening to his steady breaths, the weight in her chest growing. Eleanor's words echoed. She has to stay in the dark. Now, every move he made felt like deception, every word a rehearsed lie. The next morning, as soon as he left for work, Mary got up to check if she was wrong. She started with his desk drawer. She never touched his stuff, respecting his space, but guilt was silent today, suspicion too strong. The top drawer held neat stacks of bills, receipts. Nothing odd, but underneath old magazines, she found a folder. With trembling hands, she opened it, and her heart stopped. There was a draft power of attorney in her name, granting John control over the apartment. No signature yet, but the spot waited blankly. Mary sank to the floor, folder on her lap. Her head spun. Everything she'd heard was real. He'd planned to trick her into signing. His sweet smiles, caring words, they all turned sour, alien. She closed the folder, slid it back, shut the drawer carefully, as if the air might betray her. Inside, she burned, but outside, she stayed cool, collected. She needed more proof. That afternoon, she eyed his phone. He usually kept it close, but today, coming home from work, he left it on the hallway table and headed to the bathroom. Mary seized the moment, unlocked it. She knew the code. In the messenger, the first chat was with his mom. Scrolling, hot tears streamed down her cheeks. Messages like, "Don't worry, she suspects nothing. I'll try convincing her tomorrow. He is getting her signature by month's end." Each line cut deep, but they confirmed it. The betrayal was no figment. John and Eleanor were plotting behind her back. The shower's roar made her snap it shut, replace the phone. She rushed to the kitchen, pretending to chop veggies, greeting him with a forced smile. He entered, flashed his usual grin, pecked her cheek, mentioned a guy's night out. Mary replied evenly, but inside, she seethed. When he left, alone in the kitchen, thoughts swirled. Run now? Pack? Flee to her friend? Tell family? But another urge held her. Gather ironclad evidence. Leave him no out. She realized her game had just begun. She had to be smarter, slyer. No showing her cards. Let him think she was still the gullible wife. She'd watch, listen, wait for the perfect strike. Mary wiped her tears, glanced at her reflection in the window glass, and whispered, "I'm no victim anymore. I'll uncover it all." That evening, Mary sat by the window, gazing at the streetlights. Thoughts flowed relentlessly, anxiety mixed with resolve. She knew confronting him outright would make him deny everything, paint her as paranoid. But playing their game? That could catch them red-handed. The idea hit suddenly. Pretend to leave again. This time, she'd board the train but return unseen. The next morning over breakfast, Mary casually brought up her friend. With a light smile, she said, "You know, I'm bummed I missed it. Think I'll head out tomorrow for a day or two. She's waiting, and it'll do me good to unwind." John's eyes lit up. He hit it well, but Mary caught the relief. He nodded. "Sure, darling, it'll be good for you." Suspicion confirmed. He wanted her gone. Mary packed a small bag for show. That night, they dined together. He joked, was affectionate, but every line rang false. She watched him, thinking, your mask slips soon. Morning came. John drove her to the station himself. She bought a ticket, waited till he drove off, then slipped out the side exit and cabbed home. Tension knotted her gut, but she felt in control now. She crept up to the apartment, hid in the narrow closet by the entryway. It was dark, stuffy, but gave a clear view of the hall. Her heart thumped wildly, audible outside. She feared. An hour passed. The doorbell rang. Mary held her breath as the key turned. John entered, Eleanor trailing. They headed to the kitchen, voices rising freely. Sure, the place was empty. Everything's on track, John said. She's gone. We can get it notarized smooth. Perfect, Eleanor replied. But remind her to sign tomorrow. Say it's for a loan. She'll buy it. You're her husband. Mary balled her fists, stifling any sound. Each word pierced, but fueled her. Now she had a mission, not just know, but prove. Suddenly, John's phone rang. He put it on speaker. A man's voice. Papers are set. Once you get her signature, the apartment's yours. Mary's legs buckled. Final proof. She trembled with strain, but found eerie calm. Evidence was hers. Timing was key. Deep breath, she straightened, stepped out. Her strides were firm, eyes blazing resolve. In the kitchen doorway, John and Eleanor froze, faces twisting in shock, fear, confusion. So this is how you cared for me, Mary said quietly but firmly. You think I don't hear? You think I don't get it? The kitchen fell into heavy silence. John and Eleanor stared at Mary like their own shadow had come alive. She stood tall, bag in hand, feeling power surge for the first time in ages. No more the naive wife hanging on every word. Now she knew it all. Mary, you got it wrong. John stammered first, forcing a smile. His voice shook, but he clung to composure. We were just talking paperwork. Wrong? Paperwork? She cut in coldly. I heard every word. The power of attorney. I saw the folder in your desk. I read your messages. She slammed his phone on the table, chat with Eleanor open, screenshots ready, anticipating denials. John paled. Eleanor gasped. You snooped in his things. How dare you? Dare? The gall is lying to someone who trusts you. Mary shot back firmly. The gall is plotting behind my back while I think we have a family. John stepped forward, hand out to soothe. Mary backed away, eyes steely. Don't touch me. It's over, she said. You schemed to steal my apartment, trick me into signing. But now I've got proof. Eleanor whined. Who'll believe you? You made it up. Mary pulled a tiny recorder from her bag. Hit play. Their voices filled the room. Don't let her sense any power. She has to stay in the dark. John dropped his gaze. Eleanor blanched. Game over. Tomorrow, I file with the police, Mary said calmly. And send these to my family and lawyer. You won't have a leg to stand on. Her words landed like hammer blows. John tried protesting. Fear in his eyes. He knew he'd lost. Mary felt odd peace. Her heart no longer tore. Staring at them, she saw they never loved her. Just her property. But their hold? Shattered. She turned for the door. John grabbed at her. She snapped. Don't you dare touch me. Whatever we had died when you betrayed me. She snatched her pre-packed bag, docs and cash inside, and headed out. Behind her, voices rose in panic and spite, but they held no sway. Descending the stairs, Mary breathed free for the first time in years. No more puppet. Their schemes had boomeranged. Outside, cool air nipped, wind tousled her hair. She paused, inhaled deep, smiled. A new life awaited, tough, but true and unbound. And she vowed, never again let anyone dictate her fate. Thank you for watching. What stunned you? Comment, subscribe to Unbelievable But True, share, and check our story catalog. Stay tuned.